Module 21 Portrait in Charcoal Live Model.
We drew a portraiture in charcoal from imagination. I will draw another portrait in the same medium, this time with the live model. Start by drawing the basic structure of the head and position the facial features by using the tip of the charcoal stick. Keep in mind to capture the essence of the model. Remember, we are not trying to click a photograph. We are using a medium of art and drawing for self-expression. And it must carry a part of you and your interpretation of the subject. Recall the rules of placing the facial features correctly and apply them as you attempt a similar portrait. Soften the lines by smudging them with your hand so these won't appear harsh as you begin to shade your work by charcoal dust. Mark the major areas of depression or the hollow areas of the skull by strong strokes. Simultaneously, darken the eyes and eye sockets by soft application of charcoal directly with the stick. Similarly, clearly mark the dark or hollow areas as they appear around the nose and nostrils, lips, and chin. Keep the pressure of the charcoal stick soft throughout the drawing. A strong drawing or a line work is important before we attempt a complete portrait in charcoal. And if they aren't strong enough, then charcoal itself is a beautiful medium to begin the practice of line work. Slowly build your portrait. Do not be in a hurry. If you feel restless, take a break and return to your work. The best way to learn is through observation and practice. There isn't much to talk about or explain. A careful and a sharp observation of the subject and to watch your teacher's work are your best learning grounds. And thus you will see a dark strong stroke of black on the extreme right side of the face. See how I developed the air by darkening the hollow of the areas along with the hair and head. The light falls from the left and front on my model. I at this point decide to add the neck, shoulders and some suggestions of the clothes that the model is wearing to let my work look complete, and it also makes for a better composition. Do not be in a hurry to shade dark and light areas. By doing so, you run the risk of spoiling your work. Charcoal requires patience, and the portrait must be built layer by layer. I will smudge or soften the edges of the portrait, especially on the right side of the head. By using my fingers, I have developed this particular work stroke by stroke. and carefully calculated to leave the areas of strong highlights, working around those areas by direct soft use of the charcoal stick. I haven't smudged anything so far except for the right edges of the head. Charcoal is a supple medium. It can be smudged easily, and quick sketches in a busy marketplace or railway stations are best done in charcoal. I now begin to smudge the edges of the strokes around the middle tones and highlights to merge the two areas together. The light setup at the studio was designed for soft lighting on the model's face. As this light setup suits the medium of soft pastels better. Thus, there are no sharp highlights on the face of the model. Hence, it's important for us to merge the tonal variation of light. The transition from dark to middle tones, and highlights will be extremely smooth and soothing. Charcoal is another dry medium other than dry pastels, which requires patience and hard work to excel. We will learn everything about this medium in this particular lesson. Now, as we approach the end of our charcoal portrait, we will draw the darkest areas and apply the charcoal with some strength and pressure to bring out the same. The areas of shadows are the insides of the ears, the skin behind the earlobe, areas around the eye, nostrils, side of the nose. His neck gets the shadow of the chin, right cheek, right side of the head, and towards the back of the head. We draw the shadow towards the end. That way the risk of spoiling the paper with charcoal dust is far less. You will need enough practice in order to keep your arm slightly above the paper. I further feel that the eyes require more work, but the shadows have been drawn already and the sheet is full of charcoal dust. It gets difficult for me to reach the eye area without running the risk of smudging some part of drawing with my hand. In this case, I will cleverly pick up a brush in my left hand and place the edge of the brush over the sheet. I will now rest my right hand over the brush using it as a support. Now I can easily reach the area that I wish to work on without smudging my work. A few last touches around his clothes and the portrait is complete. At this stage, use a fixative or your charcoal drawing to fix the charcoal dust before moving the work or putting it in a folder. So you saw a complete different approach with charcoal as compared to a portrait I drew from my imagination using charcoal dust. Charcoal is a soft and supple medium that requires a lot of patience to excel. It's one of the best materials to use for developing good line work, and it is very helpful during the initial days of sketching. The basic guidelines or rules for charcoal and other dry mediums remain the same.